Hello and welcome. This is a re-record of the live session that we did during Digital Leaders because sadly we had an issue with that recording. Um, I'll skip through the slides that obviously aren't needed, the welcome and asking you to share in the chat where you were from, and the housekeeping about the fact that it was a live event. And let's start here. My name's Jackie King, and I'm the CEO and founder of If Everyone Cares CIC, and we are the creators of aDoddle.org. And that is a community mapping platform that is the UK's first connected network of area-based community maps that map charities, community groups, and local organisations. In this presentation, I will share with you the history of why we do what we do, how we did our research, the different uses and everything else. Now, some of the slides will be quite text heavy, so please know that within the Digital Leaders platform, you can actually download the presentation to read in greater detail at your leisure. So we live in a digital world where we can find everything at the touch of the button, or do we? During this presentation, we'll explore the various benefits of community mapping with a focus on our platform and its potential to create social value and impact. Now, I think it's really important to say that I'm happy to talk about community mapping in general. I've got more than 10 years worth of experience now within the community mapping world. And we started with the people in the communities first and what they needed, what wasn't working for them, how they needed it to be, how they needed to be able to search, knowing if information was up to date, how to get to places. It's been a very interesting journey. Community and voluntary organisations, and they are our hidden community assets, because at the moment there is nothing that brings this information together in one place so that we can find out what's going on within our communities. There are more than 1,500 charities and even more community groups and local organisations and opportunities. 47% of that of voluntary organisations are micro with an income of less than 10,000, and many of those may not be able to have their own website. They might not be able to afford the cost of it. They might not have a volunteer to help them to do that. They might not have the capability. And so how do people find those organisations within their community? And community mapping is about empowering people to find the help and support and opportunities they need when they need them most in their own community. Disconnected communities are said to be costing in the region of £32 billion a year, and that was a report done by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation. Sorry, let me correct that. That was a report done by Eden Project's community. Poverty is said to cost in the region of £78 billion a year. That was the one done by the Joseph Rowntree Foundation. So facts and figures are really sort of quite startling. Finding help can be a challenge, and it's especially important to consider the unique circumstances of each person. What search skills have they got? What individual needs do they have? Have they got any accessibility limitations? What do they do when they find out of date or misleading content? They think they found help and support, and then suddenly they're let down again. They have information overload, or they struggle to find the information on the website that they need, because every website is set up in a different layout based on what that organisation wants, and people don't know where to find it. So being mindful of those factors, we can create a more inclusive and accessible online environment for everyone who is seeking help and support. Now, this is one of those slides where I'm sharing a lot of information, but community mapping is for everyone in every community. So John, he's living with a disability and he's a wheelchair user, and he'd like to find groups to support him that are easily accessible where he can make friends. Or Asha works in a busy hospital discharge team, and she's looking to quickly discover groups who might be of interest to those that she's sending home. Or Noah, he works in Central Community Hub, and where there are many small groups and charities, and he's searching for a way of personalising a list of support groups to be able to print off for people to take to them or to email it to them. So those are just some of the examples. Let's start with our reasons for why we did it. Back in 2010, when I started this journey, I was actually a trainer who was helping people who were out of work long term due to illness and disability to rediscover hope and support and self-esteem and all of those things. And I was told by one of my managers that a number of my clients were no-hopers and they could no longer come in. Well, no one is a no-hoper. And the one thing that I had seen with all of my clients was, had they been able to find help and support, either they themselves find it or a friend or family member or community networker, many of them would not have reached the points where some had tried to take their own lives, families had split up, homes had been lost. The knock-on effects were actually horrendous of people who had been working and had slipped into crisis and slipped through the cracks. So, sorry, an alarm was going off telling me I've got a call in a minute. I apologise. So we looked at what was out there already and why was it easier to go to Google Maps and find a hotel or restaurant and make an informed choice than it was to be able to find the local community groups or organisations that existed. And that just seemed a little bit crazy. So by 2012, with the research that we'd done, we put the idea of creating a community map in the global Sir Richard Branson and Virgin Unite challenge to screw business as usual. And the idea that we put forward over a 4-month challenge was voted third by the public from around the world. And we actually had other people from other countries contacting us saying they needed it in their country as well. We also looked at hearing people sort of say that they might find some help online or think they found it and then realize it didn't exist anymore because the information was out of date. So we are, as far as we're aware, the only community mapping platform that uses a unique traffic light system. Please do let me know if I've got that wrong. But if a pinpoint on the map is green, it means it's been updated by the organisation in the last 6 months. If it's turquoise, it's 6 to 12, and if it's blue, it's over 12. That doesn't mean the information isn't accurate. It just means that the organisation hasn't updated it yet. But people are then aware of managing their expectations around their information. We also learned that there are 5 key things that anybody wants to know about any organisation. That is who they help, how they help, the difference they make, the help they need, and how to get in contact. And those are the key things for people at the beginning of their journey. Decisions are easier when you can see the whole picture. At the moment, with the ordinary search of going onto Google or Bing or Edge, you are looking through a multitude of puzzle pieces in a vast array. Yet by bringing community mapping into one place, on one map, in that one space that can be accessed from multiple points, you're actually helping people to see the whole picture. So you're making it easier. The same data benefits more than one sector. We started wanting to help people in crisis, and then we realised it would help those who were struggling with isolation, who were looking for opportunities to volunteer. It was actually help organisations that were in the same communities to connect together and collaborate. It would help with social prescribing, resource mapping for key decision makers, helping people to see where there was duplication, where there was need, so that actually those services could be put in the right places. But also by helping people to be empowered to find things themselves, it could actually help the NHS, the police, and social services. There are many benefits. This is another of those slides with a lot of information on, but by pinpointing those local charities and community groups and resources, you connect those who need help with those who provide it. You help anybody experiencing isolation. That's just a few of the benefits of community mapping. Every charity, community group, and organisation gets a mini website. You can maybe see in the background here that each of these looks slightly different. So actually, they have the ability to partially brand it. So they can add a main colour, they can add a header image, so it looks slightly different. Yet every page is set out in the same standard profile layout, addressing that issue of when people struggle of where to go to on a website. So once they've been to a couple of profiles, they know where to go to look for the information they need. The organisations can actually use this in place of a website. So many small local organisations are able to use this, saving them the funding or needing to get a volunteer. And they have the opportunity to share the 5 key things. It's just like filling out a form. Here comes another slide with quite a few organisations on it. This just shows you a sample of the types of things that are on there, from a talking newspaper to Bold and Brave, community drama, Autism Berkshire, Survivors Network, Bristol Grandparent Support, Suited and Booted. There are so many organisations. Please do take a look. and another slide showing you that it really is for everyone in every community. Now, each of these examples is based on a real case study, somebody we've spoken to, but we've made them anonymous in this sense. So please do take a look. It is about empowering people, and aDoddle is for you, whatever your story. It gives you choice. It helps you to find the support or the opportunities to volunteer. It can help to reduce isolation, and it is based on a personal journey. So many platforms, directories for somebody to get some information. They have to fill out, answer this question, answer that question, and then an algorithm decides what is going to be shared with them. This is about mapping. People can see what is going on in their area and their community, and they choose what is right for them. So it might be they're struggling with isolation and their mental health is going down the chute a little bit, but actually they just need to go and find the local community garden where they can go and do, join in a community, make some friends, maybe volunteer, or the local photography club, or cold water swimming, or it might be they need something more. They might need food aid. The opportunities are there. So, aDoddle's maps, there are 12 regions. We've identified over 400 areas. At the moment, we have got 117 different area maps and then a number more of maps that actually have gone onto organisation websites. So organisations have the ability, they can add their details once and they are then visible on any of the area maps. So if somebody's on a map in Cornwall and they want to find something in Scotland, they can scroll up to Scotland and they can find the information there. So it doesn't just show an area and refuses to show you anything that's on the borders of that area. So you can look for yourself, a friend, a family member. They are all connected. Once an organisation has added their details, they have the ability to duplicate that profile if they, say, cover a wider area. There are multiple access points to the maps. The maps can be dropped into any website. We have a secure system, so an organisation needs to go through us to get the permissions to have a map on their website. But it's very possible and very easy for us to do and make that and something that they can have. It means that the maps can be accessed from those multiple access points. So they can be dropped into that, and a map can be chosen to show all of the data on the map, or just a niche of the data, so just food aid, just warm spaces, that sort of thing, or even just the organisations that a business or community group or something wants to show in that area. So they want to show we've checked these out, we're happy with them, everything else. So it is a map out of the box. Plymouth Food Aid Network in Plymouth, they show food aid organisations, but also warm spaces. Devon Local Nature Partnership, they are using the map. It's helping them to fulfil the need for the UN SDGs around the environment. Community maps are more than just asset-based community development. They are cost-effective. They have the unique traffic light system. There's a full guides hub and free workshops that happen to help people to use it. The duplicate profiles. I haven't mentioned yet that anybody can set up a profile on anybody can set up an account on aDoddle, and they can then create lists of their favorites. They can then choose to share those lists with, it might be a client who's come in, it might be another organisation in the local area. They might want to make it public so that it makes people in the area more aware of what's going on. We have the ability when somebody is on there. So if an organisation has shared its address, so there is the ability to hide an address if it is an organisation that is set up from somebody's home, if it's something like Women's Aid, if it's a food bank that actually delivers rather than has people coming in. But if someone has shared their address, then actually there's the ability to click on a link for somebody to get directions for public transport, for walking, for a car journey. There's the ability through a full online system to transfer the ownership of a profile to another team member or to another organisation. There are the ability for team permissions for managing profiles. So if you're managing, say, 50 local libraries across an area, but you want to give team members permissions to manage certain parts of that, you can do that. All of the maps are connected. There are no borders or boundaries. And any map or tech updates we make are made available to everybody across the whole platform. So sometimes we're asked by organisations to do a bit of bespoke tech for them. We're happy to do that. We don't charge a huge amount of money because we then make that available to everybody. So it's about connecting people and communities one click at a time. What is the problem? What's the solution? And what's the impact and value of this? It's huge. We also think that the community mapping, or we believe from the feedback that we've had, that it actually encourages co-production. And then again, please do come and have a look at this. You can see this slide by downloading it, or you can go to my personal LinkedIn profile and you can see that we've done a blog on co-production. We're getting there, near the end. There are going to be some big slides in a minute, which you can look at later on, but we're nearly there. We had an external consultant look at the value that we were providing to the charities and community sector. And this external consultant believed that actually the benefits of having a free profile that can be used as a mini website, no need to purchase a domain name, no cost for hosting the profile, no website development time needed, simple profile creation, and all of these, they averaged that it was worth a value to each organisation of between £600 and £1,600 per organisation, depending on which bits they were doing. Now, let's be honest, there are some organisations who've already got a website and who are going to say, we didn't need it, we've just done it as an extra. So that's fine. So let's go on the lowest fee there. Now we've got around 3,000 organisations on the map. So if we times that by the 600, that's a value of 1.8 million last year. And that is not including the benefits of helping people to find that help and support and the difference it made in those lives. Next slide. This is around, we do licenses for local councils, NHS, police, and it's based on the population, not on the mileage. Can't think of my words. But please do look at this. It's very cost effective. Let's look at the highest one when it's over 1 million people in that area. So let's look at that. It is £18,000 a year at this moment, correct, at the time of going to press. We are going to be putting up our prices, I'll be very honest, but anybody who comes in on these levels, they will stay at that level, plus any, ordinary growth that goes. Again, I can't think of my words, and I apologise. Let's say the average cost of somebody who is unemployed, who is not paying national insurance, who is getting benefits, etc., is £15,400 per year. So let's imagine to a local area, 4 people in that year who are unemployed, find the help and support they need, and they manage to go back into work. So let's look at that. Now let's think, say £5,000 of that was benefits. Okay, those 4 people, you've got your money back. Your quid's in, but you have got that there for every single person in your community to be able to go on and find that help. It's the opportunity for every charity, community group and local organisation to create their free profile, to raise their visibility, to build this as a resource within your community. It is incredibly cost effective. And think of the time that it will save in the housing benefit office, the job centre, etc. When people come in and looking for help and support, people can be signposted to the map. Another one around the case study. Case studies, please again take a look. Now we've got 4 pages here, and again I'm not going to go through them in depth, but they show you an example of when somebody does not get help and when somebody does get help. So we've gone from John to Dorothy to Marvin and then to Layla. So please do take a look. Community mapping also supports the UN SDGs. And it also supports the World Health Organization, the Commission on Social Connection around isolation. We are also looking, if you've got this far on there, we would like to set up some regular quarterly multi-organisation mapping group meetings. And if you're interested, please do get in contact, because we believe that it's not just about what we are aware of. What do you know in your community? How can we make these maps better? How can we work together? What do you need? Is there something that we're not doing yet? But what will make community mapping something that is really helpful for people out in their communities? There is, thank you, and any questions. We did have some questions. I will put those in the chat of digital leaders. Also, some of the reference that we used, and then please do get in contact with us. Please remember that together we can. Okay, and partnerships are where two or more organizations work together, take the best of what they do, know, or have access to, and join forces to create exponential impact. And communities are stronger when they work together. Thank you so much. We'll put in the chat links to LinkedIn, to our Guides Hub, to aDoddle, to the blogs. And please do get in contact to ask any questions that you have. Thank you so much.